Princess Diana was everything the royal family is not. The people's princess, affectionately known by the world as Lady Di, was fashionable, trendy, and had a knack for connecting with the public. It's no wonder she sometimes butt heads with the Queen. Diana living an exciting life, pouring her passion into supporting charities and raising her children to be well-rounded individuals despite their royal circumstance. A true trendsetter, Princess Diana was instrumental in shaping 80s fashion. Before and after her marriage into the monarchy, Diana became known as an icon and one of the most influential people of the 20th century. Born in 1961 as Lady Diana Frances Spencer, the story of the future princess wasn't exactly a rags-to-riches situation. Diana was the third child to Edward John Spencer, Viscount of Althorp, and Frances Ruth Burke Roche, Viscountess of Althorp. Before meeting her future beau, Diana already had royal blood in her veins. Viscount is a royal title ranked above barons but below dukes and earls. Diana had two sisters, Lady Jane Fellows and Lady Sarah McCorquodale, and a brother, Charles Spencer, 9th Earl Spencer. The family lived at Park House in the remote and quiet country village of Sandringham, Norfolk, where they rented a home on Queen Elizabeth II's estate. The Queen had a country home on the land that she was quite fond of, and so Diana and her family would occasionally cross paths with the royals and their two younger children, Andrew and Edward, when they were staying at the neighboring home. After Diana's parents divorced when she was 7, she first moved to London to live with her mother. A custody battle eventually placed her and her siblings with their father and stepmother, Reine, the Countess of Dartmouth, with whom young Diana did not get along. As a young child, Diana was homeschooled but later attended Riddlesworth Hall School and West Heath School. Although she was a talented swimmer, diver, dancer, and even won her school's Outstanding Community Spirit Award, she unfortunately did not excel in academics and failed her O-level examinations not once, but twice. As a teenager, Diana also attended a finishing school in Switzerland called the Institut Alpin Vidamanet, where she was taught how to be a proper upper-class lady. Her lessons, ranging from social graces and etiquette to riding and dining, she was being prepared for a royal life, whether she wanted to be or not. After leaving finishing school in 1978, Diana moved into her mother's flat in London, where she learned to live independently. During this period, the future princess learned to cook. She worked as a house cleaner, a restaurant hostess, and became a dance instructor. Diana evidently had a strong desire to make her own way in the world while she could. At 19, Diana landed a job as a kindergarten assistant at an elementary school and moved into her own flat in Coleherne Court in Earl's Court in central London. Pretty extravagant neighborhood for a school teacher. Diana's time working made her the first royal bride to have a job before being married.
I wanted to teach children and they said, why not come along? So I first started off doing afternoons.
In 1977, Diana met Prince Charles. He was 13 years her senior and at the time was dating her sister, Lady Sarah. As soon as Diana and Charles announced their relationship, the media was obsessed with the courtship. Charles invited Diana to the royal yacht, Britannia, which was followed by a trip to Balmoral Castle, the family's Scottish residence, where Diana first encountered her future mother-in-law, the Queen. Her Majesty must have expressed some approval because in 1981, Charles proposed to Diana, and within a few weeks, Diana left her job at the school and arrangements for the wedding of the century were underway.
She's been brave enough to take me on.
Diana's engagement ring almost deserves a story of its own. Inspired by her mother's engagement ring, the 18-karat white gold set had 14 diamonds with blue Ceylon sapphire and set Charles and the royal family back around £28,000. That's about $35,000. The ring was eventually passed down and now lives on the hand of the elegant Duchess, Kate Middleton.
It's about making your own future and your own destiny, and Kate will do a very good job of that.
The couple made their first public appearance together at a charity ball at Goldsmiths Hall in March of 1981. It was at that event where Diana met Grace Kelly, the beautiful actress and star who likely had an influence over Diana's effortless and elegant style. During their engagement, Diana moved into the royal residence of Clarence House with the Queen Mother, aka the wife of the late King George VI. Then, following complicated protocols, Diana moved into Buckingham Palace just before her wedding. When she was only 20 years old on July 29, 1981, Diana married Prince Charles. Their wedding took place at St. Paul's Cathedral with 2,650 of their nearest and dearest in attendance. The event was broadcast on television with nearly 1 billion people from 74 countries turning in to marvel at the opulent spectacle. The day became a moment in history and culture that most people who witnessed it recall to this day. Diana's dress alone was enough to put people in front of their TVs. The design of the dress was kept a secret right up until the ceremony. The dress was designed by husband and wife fashion team David and Elizabeth Emanuel and featured intricate embroidery over ivory taffeta and frilled antique lace which dates back to the era of Queen Mary. The gown had over 10,000 pearls sewn in, valuing the design at an estimated $115,000. Diana's puff-sleeved dress barely fit into the royal carriage that carried her and Charles to and from the cathedral, and it took her a few minutes to make it down the aisle, which is no wonder given how much that gown must weigh. Diana also wore a 25-foot-long tulle veil that attached to her sparkling 18th century Spencer family tiara. An intimate touch included the detail of a C and a D on her silk kitten-heeled shoes for Charles and Diana. The wedding also caused a stir when the couple made adjustments to the traditional vows, Diana choosing not to include the traditional vow to obey her husband. She also famously fumbled her words, calling the prince Philippe Charles instead of Charles Philippe. With that many eyes on them, who can blame her? After the wedding, Diana became the Princess of Wales and became the third highest ranking woman in the royal family after the Queen and the Queen Mother. She became the fifth in line to the throne following the Queen, Duke, Queen Mother, and Charles. A few months after the wedding, the royal couple announced that they were expecting a child. Once again, making headlines in the media, Diana broke royal protocol when she wore a bathing suit, exposing her barely there baby belly while vacationing on the beach. The Queen was apparently appalled, adding strain to their in-law relationship. Despite the beach scandal and a rough pregnancy, Diana gave birth to a healthy baby in June of 1982, who they named William. 2 years later, in 1984, Prince Harry was born. With William and Harry being heirs to the throne, it was customary for the family to have monopoly over the boy's education and daily life. Diana, however, wanted things a little different. She insisted on choosing her own baby names and refused a royal nanny. And as Harry and William grew older, she wanted to make her own decisions regarding her children's lives. Diana prioritized her children's well-being over their royal responsibilities. She wanted them to have a normal upbringing, as much as was possible anyway. This, of course, added fuel to the fire that was her relationship with the family. To the Queen's dismay, Diana retained her personal style after becoming a princess. Her trend-setting fashion choices were followed by press and people all over the world. Diana's wide-shouldered dresses became a staple piece in every woman's closet, launching a major trend that lasted into the 90s. Her short hair also went against the norm for royal princesses. Her pixie cut was modern, edgy, and became a popular style among young women. A particular pink chiffon blouse that she wore for a Vogue shoot ended up selling millions of copies after the famous publication. Diana's signature style as a chic modern woman and mother distanced her from the rigid fashion of the royal family. She did away with things like long gloves, stiff heels, and starch-straight suits, opting instead for comfortable trousers, loafers, and loose-fitting blouses. Diana felt that the overdone look of royal wear made her seem too unapproachable, especially when she was working with charities and working-class people. While traveling abroad, Diana would often seek out local designers to create custom pieces for her appearances in order to respect local cultures and support the economies. Diana's style has penetrated into the 21st century, with celebrities still looking to her wardrobe for inspiration. In an interview with Glamour in 2013, Rihanna said of Diana's style, "Every look was right. She had these crazy hats. She got oversized jackets. I loved everything she wore." Recently, Vogue produced a photo spread of top model Hailey Bieber Baldwin sporting Diana-inspired outfits, including her iconic bike shorts and oversized sweater combo, and her casual yet sophisticated jeans and blazer look. Diana really made cool athleisure a thing before it was a thing. Diana is still a major source of inspiration for designers and influencers today. There's no referencing 80s and 90s fashion without taking a piece of style that the princess played a role in popularizing. It was because of Diana and her modern style that the public looked to the royal family for cultural cues at the turn of modernity. Diana was, as many perceived her, a regular, down-to-earth woman to whom they could look up to. Although it wasn't exactly part of Diana's signature style, the princess made sure to be seen wearing two special items. To announce her acceptance of Charles's wife, the Queen offered Diana the Cambridge Lover's Knot tiara on loan from the Crown Jewels collection. She also granted Diana the badge of the Royal Family Order.
They often have arguments.
But we don't.
No.
5 years into their marriage, Charles and Diana began to grow apart. The large age gap became too much. Charles restarted a relationship with a former girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles, while Diana began seeing Major James Hewitt, her former horseback riding instructor. In 1995, Diana spoke with BBC of Charles's relationship with Camilla. She said, "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." In 1993, Diana wrote a letter to her butler, sharing her belief that Charles was in love with a then Tiggy Leg Burke, their children's former nanny. In her BBC interview, Diana also said, "My husband and I had to keep things together because we didn't want to disappoint the public." However, much to the Queen and Prince Philip's dismay, or perhaps not, the marriage ended in a divorce. In her famous 1995 BBC interview, Diana also opened up about her doubts that her husband was suitable to be a royal leader. After hearing this, the Queen allegedly felt that this was too far and wrote to Charles encouraging the separation. The divorce was settled in August of 1996. Diana received £17 million and an annual stipend of £400,000, and she was stripped of her title of Her Royal Highness. Unlike Charles, whose reputation was tarnished in the media by the divorce, Diana came through still beloved by the public. Despite the complications and scandals, she glided through with her grace and dignity intact, a feat she was praised for by the British subjects. Both Diana and Charles signed a confidentiality agreement prohibiting them from ever speaking about the marriage or divorce.
I don't want a divorce.
The paparazzi and cameras never stopped following Diana. She told BBC that the most daunting aspect of her responsibilities was the media attention. During her time as a royal, the public became vultures, obsessed with catching a glimpse of the princess. Cameras would hound her as she picked up her children from school, and when she was coming out of the gym or working out. Diana was treated as a celebrity even after leaving her marriage. On several occasions, the constant attention drove her to tears. She couldn't get a break. A downfall of Diana's open and honest personality was that the press often took advantage of her willingness to speak openly about her marriage and the royal family, often putting her in hot water with her in-laws. Diana also, in an effort that was ahead of her time, spoke very openly about her own struggle with mental health. In her BBC interview in 1995, she said, "I am finding it very difficult to cope with the pressures of being Princess of Wales, but I am learning to cope with it." By speaking openly about her struggles, Diana helped to destigmatize talking about mental health and asking for help. After realizing that the circus of media attention would never cease, Diana decided that she could use her platform for good. Diana became an ambassador for many charities and organizations, working closely with events in support of those living with HIV and AIDS and leprosy. This was groundbreaking at the time, as these diseases were still considered somewhat taboo, but Diana spoke about these causes with passion and an open heart, helping to destigmatize those who were suffering. She famously visited a hospital in Brazil for children living with HIV.
You can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it.
In her humanitarian efforts, Diana was working with at least 100 different charities. She made major strides in banning the use of dangerous landmines, helping to raise awareness about the harmful effects on innocent people. She helped to pass several pieces of legislation to ban them. She worked directly with Halo Trust, an organization dedicated to clearing landmines in Angola and around the world. Diana also worked as an advocate for Centerpoint, an organization aimed at helping homeless people. Thanks to Diana linking speaking publicly with the organization, the world became aware of the tragedy of youth homelessness, and the charity was able to get over 100,000 people off the streets. Diana's charity work made her even more loved by the people, and thus continued the stream of aggressive paparazzi in her life.
Breaking news coverage, Princess Diana is seriously injured.
In a day that rocked the nation and the entire world, Diana passed away when her car swerved off the road and crashed. 7 photographers who had been chasing her vehicle were put on trial for the incident. To this day, conspiracy theories exist as to the true cause of the event. The most likely scenario is that the paparazzi got totally out of hand, moving out of the realm of ethical journalism and causing the end of one of the most iconic and beloved figures of all time.
I admired and respected her for her energy and commitment to others.
In addition to her philanthropic work, Diana's essence lives on in pop culture, fashion, charity, and even royal life. The media's obsession with the People's Princess was never forgotten. Elton John rewrote and performed Candle in the Wind for her, and her name and likeness can be seen in commodities and shows like The Simpsons. Diana's fashion also lives on through endless exhibits, retrospectives, and magazine shoots that commemorate her timeless style. The charities that Diana helped and supported have continued to be funded by the royal family in her honor. In 2017, Attitude magazine honored Diana with their Legacy Award for her works with AIDS charities and communities. Diana's son, Prince Harry, has continued on her humanitarian work. At an AIDS conference in 2016, Harry gave a speech advocating for what his mother worked for decades before. He said, "It is time for us to step up and acknowledge that stigma and discrimination still act as the greatest barrier to our ability to defeat this disease once and for all." In 2005, Diana's other son, Prince William, became an advocate for another charity close to her mother's heart: homelessness. William began working with Centerpoint, and in an interview with Telegraph, he said, "My mother introduced that sort of area to me a long time ago. It was a real eye-opener, and I am very glad she did. It has been something I have held close to me for a long time." Maybe most importantly, Diana's more genuine and casual approach to royal life lives on through some of her successors. Her honesty and individuality paved the way for those such as Meghan Markle, who have and will take on leadership roles in their own way, working against archaic traditions for a more feminist monarchy and equal world. Diana's sons have both chosen to marry outside of the royal bloodline, bringing an updated sense of progressiveness and diversity to the royal family.
And I know that I can give love, and I'm very happy to do that, and I want to do that.
Does Princess Diana's iconic presence live on even into 2020? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to The Taco for more stories about history's most influential celebrities. Bye for now.